All right, so there was a Cpac straw poll, because Cpac, of course, just recently happened. And this is all about who should be Donald Trump's VP. And the answers are fascinating. So, number one, by a mile, Ron DeSantis, 43%. Kind of unsurprising, but also interesting in the sense that there's kind of a feud that's already being set up between them. Because DeSantis probably wants to be president at some point, not just VP. So, you got Ron DeSantis, number one. Kristi Noem, number two. She's the governor, I believe, is it North Dakota or South Dakota? I think it's North, but I could be wrong. Kristi Noem, 9%. Kind of shocking to me that she's number two. I guess in these far-right circles, the people who would attend Cpac, she's built up quite a name in those specific circles, but the country more generally, she really isn't all that well-known. Number three, Mike Pompeo. Interesting that he's up there because my understanding is behind the scenes in the split between Trump and Pence, he's more Team Pence than Team Trump. And he also is laying the groundwork to run himself, which would be hilarious because he'd get literally no votes. Look at this one, man. Tulsi Gabbard tied for fourth place at 4%. Tulsi Gabbard. So the people who go to Cpac want Tulsi, 4% of them want Tulsi to be Trump's VP. That's amazing. Look, what that tells me is she's been doing a hell of a lot of right-wing media appearances, and she is singing the tune of that the audience wants to hear. Quite a fall from grace for that one, if I don't say so myself. And now, as time goes by, she's leaning more and more and more into like right-wing themes and right-wing positions. Then we have Nikki Haley tied with, or Ted Cruz tied with Tulsi. That's amazing. Tied with Tulsi is Ted Cruz. I thought he'd be higher than that. Nikki Haley tied as well. Ben Carson tied as well. Jim Jordan, who's the head of the so-called Freedom Caucus, like the Tea Party, he's tied as well. Look at this. Tucker Carlson is at 3%, which means Tulsi Gabbard has more support to be Trump's VP among the far-right base than Tucker Carlson does. Jeez Louise, that's wild. Rand Paul, 2%, Josh Hawley, 2%, Tim Scott, 2%. He might also be laying the groundwork to run for president, Tim Scott. Mike Pence, 1%. Wow, the guy who already was the VP among this far-right group all the way down at 1%. Why? Because this is the exact group of people that's still butthurt over him not trying to actually overthrow the election. Elon Musk, 1%. Why is he even in there? Tom Cotton, 1%. Rick Scott, 1%. Glenn Youngkin, 1%. Then we have other 5 and undecided 3. Look, a lot of interesting things here, and this does give you, a peek into the mind of the Cpac audience, which I have to say for the record is, honestly, at this point, it's definitely not the same as the general electorate, and it's even arguably not the same as all the Republican primary voters. This is the base of the base. These are the hardcore ones. So now, that does count for something. It does. But I would just say everything with a grain of salt. There's some surprising things here. And I don't know. You guys could probably pick it apart for days, as I can. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.